Welcome to the Eastern Idaho Weather Impact Planning Briefing for Thursday, February 13th. We do have high pressure across the region today. There are a few pockets of fog through the northern portions of the Snake River Plain, but otherwise we are expecting minimal impact for today. A series of storm systems will bring periods of snow through the weekend. We do have a low confidence potential for freezing precipitation across the northern portions of the Snake Plain on Friday in association with one of those systems. But Sunday still appears to be the most impactful day headed into the weekend. We'll take a look at the satellite imagery across the region this morning. You can see that we do have a ridge of high pressure across most of the western portion of the country, and we do have the northwest flow moving across the region. There's a little weak system driving across through Montana, but we aren't expecting that to impact the region today. And taking a look just off the Pacific Northwest coast, you can see this system rapidly moving toward the Washington and Oregon coasts, and that's going to bring precipitation to the region for late Thursday night into Friday, and that is the first in our series of storms. Taking a look at the weather impact overview matrix, you can see we have nothing of impact expected through the day today. But as that system just off the coast starts moving in late tonight, we start to see snow spreading across the region through the day on Friday. The greatest impact is expected to be across the higher elevation regions, across the Central Mountains and the southern and eastern highlands. You can see that we are expecting light snow through our lower elevation areas, although some of those temperatures are expected to warm slightly above freezing. Most of the precipitation is expected to be all snow. The exception is we are seeing some indication that there could be some freezing precipitation across the northern portions of the Snake Plain, generally in the Idaho Falls, Rexburg, Du Bois, St. Anthony region during the day on Friday. This is a very low confidence event, but there was enough of a signal in the information we were seeing this morning to at least mention that in the forecast for a slight chance of freezing drizzle. Headed into Saturday, the impacts start to increase across the region. Still, the greatest impact expected over the higher elevation areas. But you can see that drastic change headed into Sunday, with much of the area seeing moderate or even a high impact here in portions of the eastern highlands, with some of the heavier snowfall expected in that area and some blowing and drifting due to some stronger winds. As that system departs late Sunday night, headed into Monday, we do have some lingering light snows with some minimal impact expected over portions of the Central Mountains and portions of the Eastern Highlands, but you can see a drastic drop-off in impact over much of the rest of the area. Let's get into some of the details. With that first system coming through late tonight into Friday, you can see that we are expecting the snowfall to increase across the area. The greatest impact generally north of Sun Valley, across Galena Summit into the Stanley and portions of the Sawtooth Recreation area, and also generally from Island Park and the Reynolds and Targhee Pass south through the Teton Valley over Pine Creek Pass into the Caribou Range and even the Bear River range over southern Idaho. And also some light snows across the southern highlands here. That area of freezing drizzle that I mentioned earlier is likely to occur during the morning, possibly early afternoon, generally in the Du Bois, Idaho Falls, Rexburg, St. Anthony region. So this was the area where we were seeing the signal for potential freezing precipitation, generally early in the day, but possibly into the early afternoon on Friday. With that cold front associated with that system, we see winds start to increase across the region through the day on Friday as well. And you can see some of these wind gusts, particularly across the eastern Magic Valley, lower Snake Plain, and headed into some of these eastern highlands here, are getting into that 30 to 40 mile per hour range during the day on Friday. And where we do have existing snowpack generally in the eastern highlands here, this is where we could see some increased pockets of blowing and drifting snow. And again, also maybe a little bit of blowing and drifting snow north of Blackfoot here, where we still do have a little bit of a snowpack built up across the region. Here across the eastern Magic Valley and into the lower Snake Plain, the Pocatello area, there's less of a snowpack. In fact, some of the ground is pretty bare here. And where we may not see much accumulation on Friday, that threat for blowing snow will obviously be non-existent. The next system comes through for Saturday, and you can see we do have some continued snowfall across the region. Again, most of the Snake Plain, those accumulations are pretty minimal, but with the flow pattern aloft, generally the Stanley area, and again the Island Park region south along the Wyoming border through the Caribou Range are going to be our areas of greatest impact on Saturday. Winds less of a concern for this day. But Saturday night into Sunday, ooh, what a difference. You can see a drastic increase in the amount of moisture expected across the region. We do have some relatively warm temperatures still along the Interstate 84 and 86 corridor. So you can see, especially with a little bit of an input from a southerly downslope wind, we see a drastic drop-off in the snow amounts in these areas. But Central Mountains and the Eastern Highlands from Island Park all the way south to the Utah border, and then some of these higher elevations through the southern Highlands generally picking up the greatest impact. The travel corridors, Interstate 15, US 20, US 26, and then out toward the INL, including the Mackay, Arco, and Craters region, also expected to see a little bit of an impact, but you can see this broad area of less snow here. And generally in a westerly flow aloft, these areas are shadowed by the mountains to the west, so we tend to see less of an impact here. But obviously some drastic impacts due to snow across the region. And although it's a little bit early to really try to nail these down and issue the potential for a winter storm watch, that's definitely on our radar. And with these trends still holding, we can expect to see that in the next day or so. Also, with the cold front moving through on Sunday, you can see that the winds again picking up pretty strong across the region, with areas in the eastern Magic Valley and the lower Snake Plain also seeing those wind gusts in the 35 to 40 mile per hour range. And at this point in time, we may have some blowable snowpacks, so blowing snow would be a concern, and also windy across the higher elevations in all of our mountain areas. So blowing snow definitely at pass level through these areas as well. And again, some of that snow does linger into Monday across the region, but accumulations do definitely tail off from the highest amounts on Sunday. So again, we'll recap for the briefing today. We do have high pressure today with minimal impact across the region. Expecting those series of storm system to bring periods of snow through the weekend. We do have the low confidence potential for freezing precipitation in the northern portions of the Snake Plain on Friday and Sunday. Definitely the most impactful day, with significant increase in snow accumulations expected, along with a threat for some blowing and drifting snow across portions of the area. That'll conclude the briefing for today. If you have questions, you feel free to call us at the number on the screen, get in touch with us via email or at any of our social media sites. Thank you for joining us, and we will see you tomorrow.